Today we've got a bike on the table that's making manufacturers with decades of history seriously uncomfortable. And it's doing it right out in the open. The gorgeous VOGE 625 DSX. While Honda sells you the NX500 with a twin-cylinder engine that's got no real character, while Suzuki asks almost 10,000 euros for a V-Strom 650 running practically the same architecture it's had for the last 10 years, and while Benelli or Moto Morini tempt you with 700 cubic centimeter engines that also hover around 7,000 euros, VOGE shows up with a 581 cubic centimeters package, 63 horsepower, and a level of equipment that at any traditional European dealership you'd be paying extra for as an add-on. This is not a bike that apologizes for being Chinese. This is a bike that comes out swinging with the numbers up front. So guys, if you're thinking about buying your next dual sport, stick around till the end, because I'm going to give you 7 concrete, technical, and verifiable reasons why the 625 DSX has become one of the most talked about bikes in its segment this past year. And if this channel helps you make informed decisions before spending your money, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get started. Reason number 1. The engine has character, not just displacement. Under this motorcycle's tank beats a 581 cubic centimeter parallel twin with dual overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder. But what really sets it apart is the 270-degree firing order. What does that mean in practice? This bike doesn't sound or pulse like a generic parallel twin from the textbook. It delivers an irregular pulse, closer to a V-twin, with that guttural response that hooks you in the corners and gives you constant feedback on what the rear wheel is doing. With 63 horsepower, the 625 isn't trying to be the fastest in this segment. It's trying to be the most fun to ride in the rev range where a dual sport actually gets used, between 2 and 6,000 RPM, that stretch where you're overtaking, exiting a corner, or climbing a dirt trail. And here's the detail that makes a lot of rivals uncomfortable. This architecture isn't starting from zero. Lawson, the Chinese industrial giant behind VOGE, and the same company that builds engines for half the global motorcycle industry, has spent over a decade refining mid-size twin-cylinder platforms. The 625 DSX is the direct evolution of the mechanicals that debuted in the 500 DSX back in 2021. So this isn't some engine fresh out of the oven with zero track record. This is a foundation with real miles behind it. Reason number 2, Kayaba suspension, not generic. This is where a lot of budget dual sports give themselves away. Good engine, good frame, and then no-name suspension that bottoms out on the first stretch of gravel. VOGE didn't make that mistake. The 625 DSX runs a 41mm Kayaba inverted fork, fully adjustable for preload, compression, and rebound, with 174mm of front travel. Out back, a Kayaba monoshock, also adjustable across all 3, with a separate reservoir and a progressive linkage system, delivering 181mm of travel. Translated into rider language, this isn't suspension that's there just to look good on a spec sheet. It's a chassis setup that soaks up real potholes, keeps the bike stable at highway speed, and holds up when you decide to head off onto a dirt road without worrying about your spine paying the price. And the fact that it's fully adjustable means you can dial it in for your weight, your riding style, or for when you're loaded up with luggage on a long trip. On a 7,000 euro motorcycle, that's still far from standard. Reason number 3, brand name brakes, not filler parts. This model's braking system runs dual 298mm front discs with 2-piston Nissan calipers and a 240mm rear disc with a single-piston caliper, all backed by switchable ABS as standard. Nissan is a supplier you'll find on high-end Honda, Yamaha, and Triumph models, so this isn't a component with no track record. Switchable ABS on top of that is a detail a lot of direct rivals still don't offer at this price point. And it's essential if your plan is to leave the pavement behind and hit trails where standard ABS can work against you when you're braking on loose surfaces. Bottom line, consistent bite, well-known brand components, and the freedom to decide when you want safety electronics on and when you want full control over that rear wheel. Reason number 4, a chassis built to last, not just to look good. The 625 DSX uses a steel tube perimeter frame with a removable rear subframe, a design that makes repairs dramatically easier if you ever go down. And on an adventure bike, that's not some remote possibility, It's basically part of normal use. Mounted on that chassis is a 19-inch front, 17-inch rear wheel combo, with cross-spoke rims and tubeless dual-sport tires. That 19 and 17 wheel setup isn't a coincidence. It's the same philosophy used by proven adventure bikes like the Africa Twin or the Tiger 900, because it delivers the perfect balance between stability on the road and the ability to handle rough terrain without giving up agility. VOGE didn't wing the geometry on this bike. They copied it from exactly where they should have: the best adventure bikes on the market. Reason number 5, electronic equipment that puts pricier rivals to shame. This is where the 625 DSX gets genuinely uncomfortable for the competition. A full-color 7-inch LCD instrument panel, Bluetooth connectivity, integrated turn-by-turn navigation, full LED lighting with auxiliary fog lights, a built-in dashcam-style front camera as standard, riding modes, and both USB and 12-volt power outlets. Stop and think about that for a second. A factory-integrated dashcam is equipment most Japanese or European manufacturers don't even offer as an option in this price range. And on top of that, engine guards, a Duralumin skid plate, and hand guards all come standard. Not as accessories you have to buy separately the moment you leave the dealership. Line it up spec for spec against a Honda NX500 or a Suzuki V-Strom, and the gap in standard equipment is massive. And that gap translates directly into the final price you'd end up paying to get a bike that's actually ready to travel. Reason number 6, the price puts it in a completely different value for money category. The VOGE 625 DSX launched at a starting price of €6,592, including 5 years of warranty and free first-year insurance as a launch promotion. Even with the price adjustments it's seen throughout 2026, it's still positioned several thousand euros below direct rivals like the Suzuki V-Strom 650, which runs around 10,000 euros, or the Benelli TRK 702X and Motomarini X-Cape 700, both close to 7,000 euros but with less standard equipment. When you divide the price by what you're actually getting, a characterful engine, name-brand suspension, Nissan brakes, integrated tech, and extended warranty, the math is something no traditional manufacturer can match in this segment today. That, plain and simple, is why the 625 DSX has become a sales phenomenon. Reason number 7, 5 years of warranty that reflect real confidence from the manufacturer. It's no accident that VOGE backs this bike with a 5-year warranty. No manufacturer offers that level of coverage without reliability data to back it up. Behind VOGE is Lanson, one of the largest industrial conglomerates in China, with decades of experience building engines for multiple brands worldwide and a distribution network already well established across Europe, Latin America, and other key markets. That means available parts, trained workshops, and a brand that's investing to stay, not to sell fast and disappear. For a buyer who's historically had doubts about Chinese motorcycles, this 5-year warranty works as the best possible calling card. It's VOGE telling you, contract in hand, that they trust their own bike just as much as they're asking you to trust it too. And there you have it, 7 reasons with real numbers, components, and comparisons that explain why the VOGE 625 DSX has earned its place among the most talked about mid-size trail bikes this year. It's not the most powerful bike in the segment, but it's probably the one that best balances character-driven performance, name-brand components, and a price that puts more than one flashier-badged rival to shame. If you're looking to make the jump from small displacement to mid-displacement trail bikes, or you just want a versatile second bike without wrecking your bank account, the 625 DSX deserves a spot on your shortlist. Let me know in the comments if you've already ridden it, or if it's on your list this year. As always, thanks for sticking with me to the end of this video. If it was helpful, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's what keeps this channel growing and keeps me bringing you honest reviews of the bikes that actually matter. Ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.